This is a place.
This is a place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate.
And my name is Brandon.
And happy National Top Gun Day. Come on. Did you know that? Did you know it's Top Gun Day?
No, I didn't scroll down far enough to see that it was Top Gun Day.
I knew that it was the 40th anniversary this week because they're replaying Top Gun at the movie theater. I didn't know it was an actual holiday, though. That today is Top Gun Day, and I would regret not using that holiday today, knowing that it was Top Gun Day.
So you like Top Gun so much, you feel like it's warranted to have a Top Gun Day?
Oh, absolutely. I think Top Gun was probably one of the most quoted movies of my childhood. One
Really?
of them.
Okay.
It's up there. It's interesting. I was walking through my mom's old house, so my old house growing up. We're getting ready to put on the market to sell. So if you want to buy a house, got one for you.
Okay.
It's very, very retro, very vintage, which is very in right now.
It's like a whole time capsule.
Yes. But I was just showing my friend my room growing up, and I'm like, and right here was a shelf that I had my probably 10 to 15 VHS tapes, and I would just rotate through them. Top Gun was definitely on the rotation of movies that I would come home from football practice or school or whatever, and I'd pop a movie in and usually fall asleep. And they hit out of the park with Top Gun Maverick, I have to say. What are you cringing for?
I've never seen it.
Oh, ouch. Well, good. You're in luck.
I've seen Top Gun. Okay.
Okay.
I've seen the OG a few times, maybe once or twice. It's not something I've seen a ton, but I've seen it. Okay. But I have not seen Maverick yet.
Fair enough. Well, they are replaying both Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick this week. So you could just go watch both.
I could just go.
Just go. But
double feature.
Yeah, I think they hit out of the park. And supposedly they're doing a third one. I think my understanding, they green lit the third one. And that makes sense. They got to hurry up and do them before Tom Cruise is definitely too old to play it. Yeah, it's tough. I think the second one is just as good as the first, if not as, yeah.
How did we not get any Top Gun shots filmed in Utah? Let me tell you why. Because, and I know this is a terrible comparison, but I think about Top Gun and Independence Day, and I kind of conflate the two. Not conflate them, but there's scenes, jet scenes in Independence Day.
Sure.
There's the desert scene. So I see that and I think about Top Gun and the same kind of environment, like flying over that environment, and just think, why didn't they film some scenes over Utah? It's got that kind of wide open desert space feel.
And we have the Air Force Base here.
Yeah.
But really, they're in the Navy, so.
Oh, okay.
We don't really have an ocean here.
It's taking place in, San Diego? Where does it take place?
I think it's supposedly San Diego. Makes sense. Because they have the most iconic, useless, doesn't make any sense scene in movie history.
Beach.
But it's for the
beach
ladies,
volleyball?
the volleyball scene. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that doesn't work here. I get it. But I'm just a little selfish. I always want to be able to claim something for some reason. Just because, But I don't think Top Gun makes the cut, but we can still celebrate it on this Top Gun 40th anniversary. I mean, how can you not talk about it?
because you're unsafe. That's right, Iceman. I am unsafe, or I'm dangerous. I can't remember. See, I don't even remember the quotes anymore.
Going from saying it's the most
Too long.
quoted movie from your childhood, you can't even remember the quotes.
That's right, Ice Man. Hey, Brandon, you can be my wingman anytime.
Okay, I know that one. That is one of those that's transcended the movie, right?
Yeah, that one and the Need for Speed. It's probably
Was
one
that
of the
where it
most
comes
quoted.
from?
Yeah, I feel the need for speed.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
Will
It's a
you?
good
So will you
one.
be seeing it in the theater?
I really do. So I've seen Maverick twice in theaters because I saw it when it first came out. You had to, right? And
I
then
mean, yeah,
this is probably since Maverick's been out, which hasn't been too long. I think it was
2 or 3 years.
actually it's supposed to come out and then COVID hit, if I remember correctly, which was awesome because it didn't come out, but they still put their merchandise out in the store and it didn't sell very well. So I got a whole bunch of Maverick stuff on
Oh,
clearance
really?
at Walmart before the movie even came out. Anyways, but they keep replaying it, I feel like every 6 months. So I've seen it twice. I went back again because I wanted to watch it in the what is the Screen X? Have you watched the
D-Bach?
movie Screen
Oh,
X?
mm-mm.
So it has the basically on the walls they project the screen as well.
On the
That's a
walls.
So you got the front screen and then on the side walls.
Okay,
So
that's
it
cool.
surrounds you. It's like surround video, not surround sound. We get that too.
Kind of like they've got, well, not quite the sphere, but same kind of.
Yeah, it's a little different because the walls kind of go into like a triangle looking. So it's not like it's interesting.
So
It's good for
not
it was good for
immersive,
Maverick. What's that?
not necessarily immersive. You just get to see more.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
more wide angle, but I mean, any movie we saw, so I saw Maverick in there, and that's why I wanted to see how it was watching the airplane show in there. And so I watched it again, and I'm like, you know what? I forget how good Maverick is. I took my kids to see How to Train a Dragon, the new one, the real life one, and that one. But watching like a normal movie in there, it makes no sense because
It's a waste.
it's a waste. But if you're gonna watch like a action flying movie, it's pretty good.
Huh.
Kind of fun. Probably not worth the extra bucks you have to pay for it, but yeah, I kind of do want to go see the regular Top Gun and go back and watch Maverick. There's worse things you
I've
can
heard
do.
lots about it. I don't know how I have not seen it yet. So my
Heard a lot of people.
apologies.
It's one of the better movies of the last decade, like put together. Blah blah blah. When people would talk about the art of making a movie, like Back to the Future is supposed to be one of the most perfectly scripted or screenplays or something like that. They say.
Okay.
People have put Maverick in there as well. So just to say, I think it's worth your time to watch.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
yeah, it was good. They did it better. It's funny that this one's rated PG-13 and the first one's PG. The first one has a very kind of uncomfortable love scene
Okay.
that you don't like. If you're cut out that scene, then you can watch the whole movie with your kids and be just fine. But that scene makes it's kind of uncomfortable. And Maverick kind of had their scene as well, but it wasn't.
But it's PG-13, so you expect.
Well, no, which is funny because I think that one's more PG than the other one because you know what happens, but they don't have a whole song and dance.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's all we have for today. Top Gun.
I mean, we have a little bit more. We have some kind of breaking, exciting news. If you were living under a rock the last couple of days, some basketball news. I mean, it's going to be a whole basketball episode. Just for FYI.
Well, yeah. Well, that's part of the reason I brought up Top Gun because like we quote Top Gun playing church ball all the time.
I see.
That was kind of the cool thing to do.
But I mean, the Jazz got the second pick in a lottery, which is pretty big news. Nothing like that's ever.
Yeah, we were praying for top 4, right?
Yeah, and they have had the second pick before, never the first pick, but they have had the second pick before, but this is the first time they've ever moved up in the and I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you. I don't understand what any of that means. The moving up, moving down. All I know is they got the second pick, and this is good news.
Is this the first time that they actually showed them pull the lottery balls?
I felt like it was.
Because before they just bring out these envelopes, right?
Yeah,
So is this part of the reason why the Jazz didn't get screwed over because they couldn't
it wasn't rigged for sure. I mean,
rig?
I guess they still could have rigged it in the, you know, they have 20 balls when they actually only have two or whatever,
Sure.
But
Because I know the NBA was not happy with the Jazz the way they handled this last season, so I thought they were going to punish us.
yeah, maybe they did. Maybe we're supposed to get the first pick and they punished it. Like, you're only getting number two. Showed us.
Have you heard the theory? Because I think that's what sucks about being a Jazz fan right now is we still have to pay as if we're a championship team
Hmm.
ticket prices,
Yeah.
knowing that we're going to lose. But have you heard the theory that if your team is out of the playoff contention, that ticket prices should be half off? So if you're going to
No,
tank your season, then the owner needs to pay for it too with the cheap seats.
I think that makes sense.
So,
But we should have had some pretty cheap tickets the last couple of years
but
because
even
they've
then,
been
remember
tank
last
mode.
year? I didn't really look this year because honestly, it, I didn't even know. Is it Detroit that was like the number one seed in the East this year? Who was? I don't even know. I didn't even follow NBA this year at all because there was no
Me neither.
point. Like I just didn't care. It's kind of getting boring in my opinion. So I didn't care to go to any Jazz games. It was all about the Mammoth this year. But I do remember last year. Remember there's a couple of times when you and I were like, "Dude, we can get tickets to the Jazz game for like $5." So I don't know if it was the same this year. Like I said, I
I
didn't
didn't go
really
to any
look.
of
I
the
didn't really
games
care.
this year.
It's been a few years since I've gone to a game.
But now, I mean, you said it was kind of boring, kind of pointless, but now the Jazz have a chance. Does that excite you a little bit? Or are you like, I'm kind of just all in on the Mammoth. I've kind of moved on from NBA basketball.
I joked around with the guys in my ward, my church, saying that I predict that we'll see a World Series championship in Utah before we ever see an NBA title. And we don't even have a baseball team right now. I think we'll
Might
see a
be
Stanley Cup as well before we see. I really do think. And then if some reason we get football and we get the Super Bowl, but
before the Jazz will never have a title.
if we get baseball, which I do think is a possibility, it will be interesting because Jazz will at that point become like the Grizzlies, in my opinion. People will care more about the Mammoth and baseball, and Jazz will be like on the back burner third
You think
seat,
so?
unless if they can turn into the Oklahoma and start winning games in a small market. But
What is it about us that we're such a small market? Like I saw recently making the rounds social media, the quote, hockey will never work in Utah. And then you see shots from the playoffs, and it's like, you don't think so? And it's just going crazy. Or how we react with college football. Like we are a small market, but we just really latch on to professional sports.
yeah, for
Like the
sure.
the Jazz games haven't been as exciting, but still, they I don't know if they sell out or they haven't sold out, but they're still pretty well attended,
Oh yeah, yeah,
even in
yeah.
the tank.
I believe so. I don't think we have. We do have a lot to do, but at the same time,
We're not spending our money
there
on
isn't a whole lot to do.
other vices, so we spend it on
Yeah,
professional sports.
yeah. We just love. I think we love sports in Utah. We love competition, and we. I mean, we embraced the RSL
Those are fun. Yeah.
and our baseball, even the bees. Concerts do really well here. Yeah, I still think we have that. What's the word I'm looking for? Like that reputation of being a
We
boring
show up.
state. Because yeah, back when I was growing up, And we've talked about this restaurant before. Beto's did gangbusters when they first came to town because everything was closed like at 9 o'clock.
Mm.
And they were one of the first people, in my opinion, that started being open 24/7 or after 10 o'clock. And that was kind of the joke with all the jazz players, is that there's nothing to do in Salt Lake after 8, 9 o'clock. But I feel like there's a scene, a life outside of,
It's coming more
maybe we
alive.
still have that reputation. Yeah. And it's interesting how a lot of these guys, when they retire from the Jazz or from the NBA, come back to live in Utah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They were saying on Sunday, I kept hearing that Carlos Boozer is still a part of the front office of the Jazz.
Really?
Yeah. Because everybody's like, well, they got the second pick, but are they still going to take Cam Boozer because Carlos Boozer's in the front office in some capacity? So he's still got a foot in Utah. I don't know. But we love sports. We love basketball. We love competition. Maybe too much sometimes, which is a perfect segue into our episode today. I saw maybe a few days ago, but I only clocked it briefly. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then I saw it pop up again on KSL this morning when I sent it to you. And this was one of those, we sent each other stuff back and forth, but this was one of those, yeah, we gotta drop everything we're doing and do an episode on this right now. Right?
Yeah, we can't wait. Can't wait to not do this.
Is this one of those where I sent you an article and you actually read through it all by chance?
I'll be honest with you. You sent it to me and I was driving. And when I saw the headline, I was like, oh, we have to do this. And then when I read the article, I'm like, okay, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But it's still super interesting.
Okay. That's bad news because I also have not read the article.
You haven't read the article?
We're both
No, I
going
read
into
it.
this. You read it, but I didn't read it. So I'm like, this sounds amazing. But now I'm prepared to be let down, I guess.
Probably. Well, should we read the headline?
Let's read the headline.
Replay in the Utah church ball game that ended in a prison riot. Literally. Should we just read the article? You want to read it together?
Let's do it.
Should we do this church style?
Story
you
time.
Read a paragraph.
Popcorn style?
Or at school.
Yeah.
I hate reading out loud, like taking turns, because all the person's doing is thinking about when's my turn. They're not even listening to, right? At school. And like,
so should we not do that because we're going to do the same thing?
Yeah. Well, I've already read it, so.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think? Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
You can read it or we can take turns. I don't care.
Okay.
Read it and let's react. You can read it.
Okay.
You got a nice voice.
If you are an over 35 Latter-day Saint church ball veteran, you can likely tell a few tales about the cultural phenomenon that spawned the phrase, the brawl that begins with a prayer.
Who wrote this? Hold on. Who wrote this?
I don't know. That is a good question. I wonder if we know who.
Jason Swenson. Okay.
No, I thought it was. His friend writes stuff for KSL every once in a while.
But the brawl begins with the prayer. That's that's the phrase.
It's true. Yeah. Have you been in any church ball brawls?
No. I mean, I've been in heated moments in church ball, and I've seen heated things happen. Saw somebody throw somebody down on the court in a youth sports game. So, yeah.
My wife came and watched me when we first got engaged. I think we were engaged, and it was call your own fouls. And this kid, I'm bringing up the ball. He literally comes and checks me like hockey. Like just blows me up and then takes the ball and goes and scores a layup. And it ticked me off. So I grabbed the ball and threw at him and said, hey, do you want to be a tough guy? It was a younger kid too. Well, I say younger, but I was bigger than him. He's probably like 2 years younger than me. And
this was an official game or just playing?
Oh, yeah, it was weird. I'm like, call your own fouls. I'm like, that's a recipe for disaster for church ball.
For
if
sure.
It's not, if it's especially competitive. And yeah, so I got in trouble. I wasn't really going to fight the kid. I was just trying to scare him, and it worked. It just scared the crap out of him.
Did you have to talk to your bishop before you could play again?
No, the high council did ask if, and they're like, dude, it's just Nate. Like, he's good. Let him play. So, and then another story, I think it was region basketball. It wasn't my award, but it was in my award in my stake. And there was a kid who was pretty chippy on that team. It was a big dude. Growing up, church ball for us was huge. Like it was super competitive when we were like 14 to 18 or whatever, and we would talk trash and school. And it was
same.
Like, it was pretty intense. But this one kid, he was pretty chippy, but there was this big Polynesian dude on the stage, and he didn't like what the guy in my stake was doing game right before ours in region, and jumped off the stage, went and punched and knocked our kid in our stake out, and then ran off. So I'm like, wow. So the cops were there and all that good stuff, all for church ball. Anyways, sorry.
But even with your wacky church ball stories, can they match the hardcore adventures of the 1957 Granger Second Ward M men's squad?
It wouldn't, because on Wednesday, February 6, 1957, before Brandon was even a thought, the Granger Second Ward hoopsters were playing a game when an unconventional timeout actually forced the Utah governor, George Clyde, and dozens of police officers into action.
Hold on. It's before my parents were even a thought, buddy.
I know, exactly. I was going to say, you weren't even, 57. Dude, 57 Chevy, though? Those are nice.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
It's my dad's favorite car.
Is it?
Yeah. But he wasn't even born then.
I saw one on Bangor Highway today.
65? Yeah. 65. Wow.
Yeah.
So 8 years before my dad was even born.
So I've done Bangor, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I say 57 Chevy a lot when I'm playing pickleball. For some reason, when the score is 5-7, I always say 57 Chevy.
Because you people are all old, and
yes,
you like old cars.
Used to see them a lot, but they're getting more and more harder to find. So it snagged national headlines and was even covered by the iconic Life magazine. The attention-grabbing church ball basketball contest began typically with a jump ball. Nothing else that night could be called typical.
Sorry, another funny tangent. I don't know which ward, but so it's the Granger Second Ward. I don't know what ward they're in, but my dad is from a Granger ward, so this could have. I probably need to ask my grandma about this. I'm sure she knows about it.
In their stake?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was.
Interesting.
Anyway, moving on.
For starters, the Granger Second Ward wasn't playing at the local stake center or even against another ward. Their venue that night was an indoor basketball court at the Utah State Prison. Their opponents, a squad of inmates. The church ballers were leading their incarcerated rivals 49-37 when a prisoner halted the game, shouting, "This joint's been taken over by the convicts." The February 18th Life magazine article reported the inmates took the Granger Second Ward players hostage, and for 12, how do you say that, right? Riotous hours, with weapons wrestled from guards, roamed the cell blocks, smashing windows and drinking the dispensaries, rubbing alcohol. In his book, Utah Politics, Principles, Theories, and Rules of the Game, John Cox offered this punchline: "The irony is not lost on Utahns that the biggest riot in state history would take place in the middle of a church basketball game."
It is tempting to guess the church ball game turned prison riot was triggered by shoddy refereeing and maybe a few reckless elbows. In fact, the prisoners' demands were fairly routine: better food, no more cold potatoes, a new parole board, and a hobby shop. These were some pretty tame inmates.
I know, right?
We want better potatoes and a hobby shop. A hobby shop.
So, yeah. So when I read the headline, I thought for sure there was a brawl between the prisoners and the second ward, right?
Yeah.
So it turns out they just wanted the guys to be their hostage.
Let me understand this. They were playing them. It was just like an organized game between inmates in the second ward. They're like, this is our chance to get Life magazine's attention.
But they're also like, we're losing badly enough now.
if
Game
they're
over.
if they're winning, this wouldn't have even happened.
Yeah, they would have played it out. This is like Michael Scott saying, whoever's just ahead.
Yeah, right.
Anyways,
The inmates launched their 12-hour prison riot around 6 p.m., grabbed dozens of hostages, and wrought damage from one end of the institution to another, the Deseret News reported. Mayhem defined the night as colorfully described by one inmate. Once the riot got going, it got out of hand. The guys started drinking alcohol and taking goofballs and happy pills.
so funny story. My mom used to make these things called goofballs, which were marshmallows covered in caramel, and then you cover them with Rice Krispies.
Oh, what are those called? Haystacks.
No. It's marshmallow. Haystacks is
that's what we call them. Not Hawaiian haystacks, but
really,
yeah, haystacks.
You call them haystacks? Okay, we call them goofballs. So and that makes me wonder.
Goofballs is something completely different.
So I don't think that's what they were eating.
Okay, well, I need to know what a goofball is.
It says some of them got high and tore the place up.
They got high from eating too many marshmallows covered in Rice Krispies and caramel.
They probably have happy pills inside of them.
Goofballs is a slang term for a dangerous drug combination, most commonly referring to a mixture of methamphetamine and an opioid such as heroin or fentanyl. How did they get that?
Well, I just find it funny that...
Or was there meth just laying around?
I just find it that my mom used to call them goofballs. It makes me wonder now, like... Coincidence? I don't know.
They had rubbing alcohol, so they're drinking rubbing alcohol and taking goofballs and happy pills. Some of them got high and tore the place up. Anarchy ensued. A corrections officer was stabbed when he attempted to prevent the inmates from taking over the prison. He would recover from his injuries. And what of the Second Ward basketball bunch? The inmates later bragged that they had treated the hostages extremely well, giving them food, television, and chess for entertainment. According to Deseret News, when released, the 29 hostages verified the prisoners' claims. Oh, man.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
The Great Church Ball Utah Prison Melee of 1957.
Melee. You play Smash Brothers with your kids and you don't know the word melee?
I don't play Smash Brothers with my kids. Sorry, I don't understand Smash Brothers. Happened at a time when live television news coverage was taking its maiden steps. In 2019...
Hold on. We probably have footage of this riot. We still don't have footage of the 100-point basketball game.
That's true. In 2019, veteran Utah television reporter Craig Worth dug up the decades-old live TV coverage of the riot, filling this actually happened story about the oddest 12 hours in Latter-day Saint church ball lore. Rioters were actually at the news broadcast mic, cue the prisoners airing their grievances during the live coverage of the ongoing riot. The other night, we ran out of potatoes. We had to serve cold potatoes on the main line for the fellas, said an inmate who worked in the prison kitchen. Once order was restored, Governor Clyde formed a bipartisan committee to investigate conditions at the Utah State Prison, discuss inmate grievances, and review criminal evidence following what was called the worst riot in the institution's history. The Granger. Oh my gosh, I need to go take a nap. The Granger Second Ward hoopsters returned to their homes with tales to tell and bragging rights. The church ball team was winning when its game was interrupted by a prison riot. There was no rematch. There can be no rematch. So I thought for sure when we read the headline that this was a brawl broke out like you would expect, but it just sounds funny that they kept them as hostages, but they were very cool to them. That's pretty cool. So now
we just don't want no more cold potatoes.
They're just like, hey, fellas, you want to come play some chess? Hang out with us.
Why don't they just finish the basketball game?
Yeah, and then
they're like, maybe screw basketball. Let's play chess, fellas. These are
Like, was this
sophisticated
planned?
inmates.
Was it planned that they were going to wait, or did it just happen the Riot started and they're like, "Yeah, we'll improvise and we'll take them hostage"?
Oh, that's a good question. Was it even related to the basketball game? Well,
That's
I
what I'm
guess I
wondering.
guess that was so they had their hostages, but yeah, the riot broke out and they're like, "Hey, who are these clean-shaven guys in here? Let's take them as hostages."
But I'm guessing that was probably the end of church ball basketball in the prison.
No more, what would you say?
No more pickup games.
No more friendly exhibitions between
No more prayer that starts with the or brawl that starts with the prayer. Did they
in
have
the
to start with the
prison.
prayer and go over the
It's a good
whatever they call
question.
it?
Oh, read from the sportsmanship
Yeah,
or
the sportsmanship or the duties of the priesthood or something like that. Can't remember. We used to read
what
or
I'm sure
the
you could find in there somewhere is, and I'm not trying to be facetious in saying this, but somewhere something happened in that prison that made one of those prisoners become a convert because of the nice nature of the men playing basketball.
right. Well, apparently,
Surprised we're not seeing that here. Just saying. It is KSL, not Desert News.
I
So
did
maybe the
serve my
Desert News
mission
article.
in Uruguay, and if I remember correctly, I'm vaguely remembering that there was like a bunch of missionaries, traveling missionaries that went and would play basketball in Uruguay that helped people join the church. I got asked to join the Uruguay traveling basketball team. Dude, they thought like I was
What, Michael
Larry
Jordan?
Bird. Larry Bird. That's what I'm thinking too.
Larry Bird.
Back then, because they're like, "Do you play like professional basketball in United States?" And I'm like, "Dude, I couldn't even make my high school team. That's how bad I am."
That's how bad
So
they are in Uruguay.
yeah, but a guy came and asked me to join their team, a traveling team. Like, see this little town right here? I can't leave it. So, but I did get special permission to go. I was in a small town to go play because you're only supposed to play half court basketball back then. I don't know if that's still the case,
Yeah, I mean, it was when I was a missionary too.
but I got permission to go to their rec center once or twice a week to play full court basketball. And we started getting a big crowd out there. So it was good. It was a good tool to, you just couldn't be a tool when you played.
Yeah. I was in my last area, we played every single week. And I'm sure basketball at times has been a tool to help people get to church and join the church. But I think because of the contentious nature, sometimes it's the opposite.
I I don't know. It gets a bad rap, church ball, but I'm kind of disappointed that a lot of I don't think it's church wide, but most people have stopped. More, how do you say this? Most stakes, most churches in the Latter Day Saint Church have stopped doing church sports because they think it's bad. But
Yeah.
honestly, even having the bad crap, it actually feel like it unites the guys in
Yeah, it
your
brings the
on
word
your
together.
team. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird.
It's like
Yeah,
going to
so
war
because
together.
you're going to bash the other guys, you know what I mean? So you get a little bit of that, you know, friendship, that bond from talking crap about the other team and the crap they did. And
Yeah.
so I for the much of the bad that comes with church sports, I think it's still does a lot of good. And there's a lot of people. Oh, who is it? Do you know who Hulk Hogan is?
Yes.
The Hulk. He was on. I want to say Johnny Carson, or maybe it's Jay Leno. And they asked him what was the most violent sport, and he said Mormon basketball because he got invited to play like, or maybe I don't know if he had a. I can't remember. Like maybe his parents were LDS, something like that. But anyways,
Maybe he
he
was in
just
the
said he
Granger
played.
second ward.
He was probably the one of the prisoners, but he said that was the most violent sport
Hmm.
he ever played was Mormon basketball.
That's
And
probably
it makes sense because
yeah.
you got these guys who have no training on being a referee, reffing a game, and that just yeah, basketball. It's one sport that you as referee can almost control the outcome of the game if you really want to.
Yeah.
So football is a little bit that way as well.
And we used to play like a couple mornings and some nights for many, many years, right? But I don't think we ever had anything too crazy happen. Like we had people get upset, but no one
Just
ever got
my
in a
black
fight.
eye. Were you there for my black eye?
I don't know.
I got elbowed, cheap shot. Just kidding, I didn't get cheap shot. Tall kid. Remember the tall kid? I won't say his name, so he
Okay.
feel bad because I'm sure he
It
listens.
was an accident.
Yeah, he just went for a rebound, and I was underneath, and he came down and caught my eye, and then it started. I kept playing, but then after a minute, like it got to the point where I could barely see out of my left eye. And what's his name? Didn't he like tear his ankle? Jeremy.
That's
He
right.
messed up his ankle.
Yeah.
And so we've had a lot of injuries, but I don't feel like.
Yeah, but nothing where like it got out of hand.
No, got a little.
I don't even remember anybody storming off, like, and nothing even to that level.
There was one night somebody stormed off.
Okay.
Yeah, but
anyway, now you know about the most famed church ball prison game of all time, and I think we're all better for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel.
Let us know your favorite church ball brawl or story. And
I'm sure. I bet you we got a whole podcast about that.
That's
what we should do.
But people, send in your stuff, and we'll do a later podcast on it.
Fair enough.
Thanks for listening to the Place podcast.
And this was a story we just talked about.